All right, good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. Happy hump day, and thank you for stopping by for a check of the weather here in the Southern High Plains. It is October 22nd, year of our Lord 2025, and it is 4 o'clock here in Amarillo. Quiet day, sunny and warm this afternoon. You can see some really high cirrus clouds there on our sky cam in Bushland. Again, that's again some of those higher clouds coming in from that last storm system or the next storm system, I should say, which is going to be the source of all our unsettled weather starting tomorrow and lasting as late as Saturday afternoon. We'll have to talk about that. Things starting to shift in the forecast, just given the placement of where this low may go. And so that's what we'll be breaking down here in your update. But you can see that upper level low has moved on shore. It's kind of in central California right now, bringing some rain back in the San Joaquin Valley. We've got some snow in the higher peaks of the Sierra Nevadas. We've also got some spotty showers down in portions of Arizona and western New Mexico. This is again going to be that first initial round of precipitation that we could see set in as early as tomorrow morning. Again, we are very limited in moisture here in the lower levels. I want to go ahead and show you our dew points and some of our current conditions. Again, there's some of those clouds moving in from way out west, but right now it's 80 degrees here in Amarillo. It's 78 in Vegas, 72 in Boise City. Wind speeds pretty calm. They are from the south. They're around 5 to 15 miles an hour, a little bit stronger, kind of in that warm sector of the next storm system. Taking a look at those dew points, though, they're still very abysmal. We're talking about 30 to 40-degree dews right now. We really need to see those 50 and 60-degree dew points surge back into the area if we want to have a chance at some stronger thunderstorms that will produce some heavier rainfall totals as we move into Thursday night and Friday night, and maybe even again Saturday morning, which is something that we'll be monitoring closely. But for now, there's not enough moisture in the atmosphere to produce any meaningful rainfall. So again, any of these initial showers tomorrow morning probably are going to be very minute in the amounts of rain you see from them. But we do have a marginal risk. Again, this has kind of been the highlight a lot of people have been focused on, is that chance for some severe weather, which again, we need those dews in the 50s to come back into play. If we don't get them, then we'll probably be out of the mix tomorrow evening for severe weather chances. We're going to be on the extreme northern edge of, I think, where the probabilities look best for any kind of severe weather hazard on Thursday evening. Again, a marginal risk does not mean every storm will be severe. It means a few could be, but for a majority of the region, probably sub-severe stuff. You don't have to deal with the severe weather. But if we do see a storm that does reach severe capabilities, we've got a good wind shear profile. We've got good instability. The moisture, again, is kind of lacking tomorrow. So these may be more high-based thunderstorms, which would produce more of a wind and a hail threat than anything else. Should anything be surface based, we might have a low chance for maybe a weak tornado, brief spin up, something like that. In particular, that'll probably be down south of the panhandle. We think that'll be more like towards Lubbock, towards Abilene, maybe as far north as Childress and Paducah. So we haven't taken it off the table yet, but it's something we can't completely rule out. I actually think Friday may be a better opportunity for some storms potentially getting close to severe levels. A big reason for that is we've got better moisture. Again, we've got that extra day where the Gulf moisture continues to fill in from the south. We've got better moisture aloft pumping in from the Pacific. And so the recipe, again, moisture is one of your best recipes or ingredients for storm chances. If you don't have it, you're not going to get any storms, even if you do have the instability. So that's one thing that I think will get better on Friday. I think we'll have a better opportunity to see some stronger storms, especially in that east southeast panhandle from Pampa and Canadian south towards Clarendon, Shamrock, Childress, and Paducah. Again, if this low continues to slow down, we could start seeing a lot of this stuff shift west as well. Right now, Amarillo is in the marginal risk for Friday. We are not for Thursday. And again, a big reason for that is just because of the amount of moisture we have to work with. A very, very limited amount on Thursday. You can see this is 3 p.m. You can see a better plume of moisture kind of centered over New Mexico. We'll start seeing some of the low-level dew points pull into the area, but notice this dry slot of air that still is kind of over the area. As we get into the afternoon, you can see it starts to fill in a lot better, but it's probably going to be one of those last second things that comes into fruition. And so storms, I think, are going to probably struggle for a while on Thursday. But this is Friday at lunchtime. You can still see we've got a nice plume of moisture really starting to become pronounced there in the eastern half of the panhandle. Dry slot in the western half of the area. So probably dry, sunny conditions over in this area. Whereas we have a lot of low clouds to start the day in the east panhandle. Should that all burn up, we heat up enough, we'll have another chance for some strong to severe storms again on Friday evening. Again, the moisture aloft looks better on Friday than it does tomorrow. So I think we'll have a better chance for severe storms then versus Thursday. But look at the direction that this low takes moving into Saturday. Again, models have really slowed down the progression of this low, and they've really dragged it south as well over the last 2 days when we start getting some newer high resolution model runs come through. If this thing takes a more southeast track like this, we're going to get put in that wraparound band of precipitation, and that's going to increase our chance for rain on Saturday morning as well. Again, we did not have rain pops on Saturday yesterday. Things continue to shift in that direction, and that may actually be the chance where we have more widespread precipitation opportunities, especially in the eastern half of the area. So let's go ahead and run through your computer model just to show you what our in-house model thinks is going to happen. So you can see we've got some of those clouds kind of hanging in the southwest panhandle. We've got some of those really high base showers coming in from New Mexico Thursday morning. These, again, I don't think are going to be producing a lot of rain. Again, we've got limited moisture to work with. Probably a tenth of an inch or so is about as much as you can expect from some of these coming through initially on Thursday. Not a whole lot of activity in terms of severe organized thunderstorms on Thursday night. Notice where the warm front is, though, on Friday morning. We've got better dew points pulling in. Look at the temperatures. Some of these dew points are going to start surging back up into the 50s rather than the 40s. So we'll have more moisture, more water to work with. And again, anything south of the boundary is in that warm, moist sector of this upper level low. This is where you're going to have that best opportunity for some of these strong to severe storms, we think, on Friday. Still won't rule out some stronger storms north, but again, the temperatures and the dew points, a little bit colder, not as close to the proximity of the low where you have colder heights aloft or colder temperatures aloft. So the overall profile probably not as supportive of severe weather up here as it is down here in the southeast. So this will be something to definitely watch closely as we exit the end of the work week. And then this is Friday at 10 p.m. You can see there's maybe the beginning stages of what's called that deformation band, or that's just that wraparound band of precipitation trying to fill in with this low as it starts to track to a south and east direction. You can even see some snow up on the mountaintops of the Sierra Grande peaks there, or San Grande Cristo, I should say. We're expecting this to be a cold rain event, I think, Friday night into Saturday. Our lows on Saturday morning will be in the mid 40s, so not really expecting any winter weather with this system, though we have had it this time of the year in previous years. It just does not look like that's the case this year. So here's our outlook or output for rainfall forecasts for the in-house model. You can see once you start getting into the green, that's where you're talking about a half inch or more. The yellow is where we're talking about 2+ inches of rain. So it is really pinpointing and bullseyeing the eastern half of the area for maybe a pretty beneficial rain event here as we head into the end of the week. The western panhandles and eastern New Mexico, it's going to be much more limited in your moisture, though if this low does slow down, that wraparound band really starts to get going earlier rather than later, and this low is a little slower to push through, then you'll start seeing a lot of these numbers get shifted further west as well. But this could be our best prospect for rain in the foreseeable future. A lot of our extended outlooks are not excited about rain next week or any kind of winter weather. They have us very dry. We do have a pretty potent front coming through. We're kind of conservative on the high temperature being limited so far. Again, it's looking like it'll be sunny, that being one reason why we don't have you down into the 50s. But there are a few outlier models that do have us with maybe some highs in the 40s and 50s next week for a day or two, particularly Tuesday and Wednesday. A lot of those models are starting to back off on that as of this afternoon, just given the placement of that next trough. It's a lot further to the east, so we don't get the full brunt of the cold air spilling south through the plains. We just get kind of sideswiped. I still think that could be our first freeze here in Amarillo, maybe on Wednesday morning. We already have you down to 37. As we get into the 48 to 72 hour window, we'll start getting some high resolution models coming into view of some of that colder air. They tend to do a better job of picking up some of that colder air that's a lot shallower Some of the grid point spacings on some of the mid-range models just don't do well at picking up or detecting on that shallow layer of cold air with these storm systems and mid-latitude cyclones. So time will tell. I do think that that could be our first freeze, though, of the fall season for Amarillo. Fingers crossed we get some rainfall this week and weekend, because if we don't, it looks like that dry weather is going to continue well into the month of November. But that's all we've got for you this afternoon. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll make sure to catch you at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock.